The Little Fox Who Found Her Voice Kids Story Bedtime Story. In a quiet forest, there lived a little fox named Fiona. Fiona was kind and clever, but she had one problem. She could never find her voice. While the other animals would sing songs, call to one another, or speak up when needed, Fiona always stayed silent. She wanted to join in, but every time she tried to speak, her voice just wouldn't come out. One day, while walking through the forest, Fiona met a wise old owl named Orla. Orla had been watching Fiona for a while and noticed how quiet she was. "Why are you so silent, little fox?" Orla asked gently. "I want to speak, but I can't," Fiona said, her eyes filled with frustration. "Everyone else has a voice, but I don't. I want to tell stories, I want to sing, but every time I try, nothing happens." Orla blinked her big eyes and smiled. "Fiona, you don't need to have a loud voice to be heard. Your voice may not sound like others, but it is just as important. Sometimes it's not what you say, but how you say it that matters." Fiona was confused. "But how can I be heard if I can't speak like the others?" Orla perched on a branch and thought for a moment. "There are many ways to be heard. Sometimes your actions can speak louder than words, and sometimes silence can be the most powerful voice of all." That evening, Fiona sat quietly near the forest stream, thinking about Orla's words. She looked at the animals around her, the birds, the deer, and the rabbits, and realized that their actions spoke louder than words ever could. The birds sang, the deer gracefully moved through the forest, and the rabbits hopped playfully, each of them telling their own story without saying a word. The next day, Fiona decided to try something new. She began to communicate in her own way, through her actions, her gestures, and her eyes. She helped the other animals, played games, and showed kindness through her actions. Soon, Fiona realized that her silence wasn't a weakness. It was her strength, allowing her to connect with others in a deeper way. From that day on, Fiona embraced her own voice, knowing that she could be heard in many different ways.